Hey everybody, it's Dr. Tassone. Let me put in my earbuds so my sound maybe is a little bit better. Alrighty. It is, what is it? It's Monday, weirdly enough. It's Monday, and I wanted to check in, have something special for those of you that are interested, that have Eshore, that would like to see how I do my salpingectomy. For those of you that don't want to have the Eshores removed by hysterectomy and would like to just have the tubes removed, and a reason for you to have a specialist do it. I have a case where I did a salpingectomy on an Eshore, and the Eshore had grown into a fibroid that was growing in and around the fallopian tube. So if you go to Facebook and you type in Tassone method Eshore removal, and you join the page and you have Eshore, you can see my video. I actually show how it's done. So what I've been finding with a lot of women this week and last week and during this COVID dilemma is massive amounts of testosterone deficiency. Women in general are fatigued. They are crashing and burning around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. They have a decreased desire, a decreased drive. I've often joked that testosterone deficiency, if it was a t-shirt, would just say, meh. Like, I don't give a crap. Because that's how you feel. You just don't care. Things that you used to like to do, including sex, just aren't as important anymore. You just don't have that vim, that vigor, that desire to kind of go out there and conquer the world as you should feel. So if you're feeling that way, if you're tired in the afternoons, if you've lost that kind of zip, if you feel like your gym workouts aren't what they used to be, maybe losing a little muscle mass, get in with somebody, maybe me. Check your hormones. I have been finding that far and away testosterone deficiency is very common across the spectrum, especially in women that are taking birth control pills, because birth control pill is going to raise your estrogen level, which in turn raises your sex hormone binding globulin, which in turn drops your free testosterone level. Don't get pellets. That's another one of my harps. I just saw a lady today who's 3 months post pellet placement. So she's had her pellets for 3 months. Her testosterone level is still on 300 and something, which is more than a man's testosterone in some cases. When they put her pellets in, they automatically started her on 2 prescription medications to combat the high testosterone they knew they were going to cause with the pellets. Stupid, super stupid, really stupid. So let's do this. Let's try this. If we're going to fix a problem, say low testosterone, how about we just fix that problem and not cause 2 additional problems that we need to give them other medications for? Okay, I'm going to get off my high horse. By the way, if you want to ask any questions, perfect time to ask. I got to get dinner going here for my 15-year-old, but don't tell him I bought a meatloaf, and I'm going to make a Caesar salad, which will be extremely hard. So, but don't tell him. Maddie's posting the Facebook group that I have, because in that Facebook group you can actually watch an Eshore removal. There's also an Accessa procedure in that surgery. Accessa is a new surgery that I've been proctoring for about 4 years, and it's a fibroid surgery where we don't actually have to cut the fibroids out. We put a needle inside the fibroid in the uterus and we heat it from the inside with radiofrequency ablation. Also, for those of you that might be wondering, hey, do I have testosterone deficiency? I'm having some of those symptoms, but what's the possibility? If you go to the link that Maddie just put up, tassonemd.com/quiz, I have a hormone quiz. It's pretty in-depth, about 36 questions. And you can actually find your hormonal archetype. There's 12 different hormone types. Interestingly enough, my book that is on those 12 hormone types on Amazon, called The Hormone Balance Bible, that's coming out from HarperCollins early next year, just went to the printers today. The copy editing is in the process of being done, and it's a massive, massive amount of work. It was 600 pages of that will be, I'm sure, distilled down, but it's taken me 3 years to write this thing. It's all about the hormone imbalances, the 12 most common types that I have discovered over the last 20 years of practice. The quiz is kind of an easy way to simply kind of look at the way you answer the questions and what your imbalance might be. Obviously, it doesn't substitute for medical care or lab testing, but it's a pretty good answer sometimes. It gives you kind of an idea as to where to start. So I would go start there. The book doesn't come out for about 6 months, but you can pre-order if you're, really into that kind of thing. There will be a lot coming up about it over the next few months. You'll hear tons and tons, and I'll be doing a little book club, and I'll have a series on hormone imbalances, and there's going to be a lot more coming. Y'all are going to get a lot of me. Sorry, I'm apologizing ahead of time. So, real quick, if you want to go over to Tassone Method, Issure removal, if you just type in Tassone Method on Facebook, you'll see a group for Issure. Now, I'd like to have people in there that need Issure removed, but there's a surgery in there that you can see where I actually remove an Issure via salpingectomy, and I put that case in there because I want women to understand that it's not an easy surgery. And in this particular case, she had a hi Alma, hola. She had a fibroid growing around the coil, and I had to carefully dissect that coil out and remove it with the tube still intact because I didn't want to pull on the coil. I didn't want to break it off and leave a piece behind. So it's a really interesting case. You can kind of see how it's done. I just think it's the first time I've ever done this in 6 years of removing these. So take a look at it. I'm so excited. Almost here. That I just think it's a good way for you to get a good feel for it if you have Issure. If you're just thinking about hormone imbalances or you have questions about fibroids or endometriosis, I did an endometriosis case today. The poor younger woman was suffering for years with pelvic pain. It was excruciating to the point where she was now in the ER twice in 1 week. We went in there and her entire pelvis was just covered with endometriosis. Hopefully going forward after we excised that, removed it for her, going forward we're going to focus on hormone imbalances. We're going to focus on just keeping her from possibly making this again, and really just focusing on getting her feeling better. So if anybody has any questions real quick before I break off to make a little food for he's almost 16 now, my 16-year-old, please ask. I'm here just answering questions. I'm seeing patients for hormone imbalances across the country, telemedicine visits. I'm seeing patients in the office for telemedicine visits. If you're thinking about having your Issure removed, all of these visits, I take insurance if I take your insurance. If not, I have some cash-based discounts. But for Issure, it's literally, or any surgery, whether it's fibroids. I had a patient come from Louisiana a couple weeks ago to have the excessive procedure done. It's insurance-based. We do all the pre-op stuff and everything, telemedicine visits. You could literally come out for the surgery the day before. We talk about the surgery. We get you over to the hospital, get you registered, and we do this thing, and we get these coils, we get these fibroids out, whatever it is that you need fixed, especially if you're having difficulties where you live. You either live in a small area where there's no expert, or you just want to go to somebody that's done 800 Issure removals, which I have done. It wasn't something that I was trying to do. It just sort of happened over time. So I'd like to put that out there. Give us a call at 512-956-0296. I take most major insurance companies. The only insurance that I couldn't take would be if you are state-dependent Medicaid. You have to stay in your state. We can schedule all the hormone labs at my 6-week post-op. Yes, ma'am. I usually will do, if you've had surgery, I like to wait 6 weeks post-operatively, let your body kind of clear things out and recover, and then we go ahead and order a hormone panel and see where you are hormonally post-operatively, as Jessica just asked. So, I'm sorry, Jenny. I don't have my glasses So any other questions? You can go over to Tassone Method Eshore Removal on Facebook, and the video's on there. You can watch me. It's in 2x speed, so it's not horribly long. I think it's a 6-minute video, and you can actually see how it's done, especially with the difficult one on the right side where there was a fibroid growing around the Eshore coil. Easier, Eshore, yeah. Well, I don't know for sure. There's no exact way to answer that because there's been no studies as to whether or not Eshore affects hormones. I can tell you just from my own experience that many of the women that I see that I do hormones on that have Eshore tend to have estrogen dominance and low testosterone. Estrogen dominance in my hormonal archetype is called the queen because women that are estrogen dominant, they're bosses, but they're in overdrive, and so they're queens. They could be off with your head type queens where they just want to choke someone out, even though those people may not need it. So if you feel like you want to choke someone out, you're anxious during the day, you have breast tenderness, mood swings, irritability, you could have too much estrogen. Low testosterone, I call the nun. And obviously because nuns probably, hopefully, don't have much of a sex drive, at least the good ones. And I jokingly say, because you don't want none and you ain't getting none. And that's low testosterone, kind of in a nutshell. Tori Fuel. Wow, good to see you, Tori. Haven't seen you in many, many years. Hope all is well for you and Sam and college and all that. Angelo's going to the University of Colorado. I think Sam's going to the U of A, I think. So hopefully everything is good for you and your family, and it's good seeing your name again. Hopefully Tori will pick up the excessive procedure in Tucson because we're rolling out to Arizona, and I want somebody to be the leader in Tucson to take up this fibroid surgery for excessa. So Tori, if you want to be that person, let me know. You can be even first before Carol DeHaas because you know she's going to jump on it. But it's good to see your name. So hope everybody's doing well. You can always drop notes here in the comments down below, and I'll answer the questions later on. Hope everybody's doing good.